Hello, welcome back. I'm Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. Today we're back to doing simple cake stuff, which is simple decorating. I baked these chocolate cakes yesterday, which I wrapped up and left on a countertop. Now, the simple question is, when you bake a cake and you have to layer it, what do you do? So we're here trying to get through all things torting and layering, right? That's what we're going to be doing. I'm sure if you enjoy cakes or like cake as much as I do, you may at some point come across a cake and how to put a cake together. So today I'm going to take the chance to cover all the basics about how to put a cake together. Hopefully at the end of this video you will learn what torting in cake decorating means, the reason why we tort or slice into cakes, and the reason why cake is filled with buttercream and then stacked together. Those are our class objectives for today, so I hope by the end of this tutorial that will be fulfilled. There's Lollipop in the chat. Lollipop, good afternoon. How are you, my lovely? Great to have you. So here's the question. If you've seen a cake like this, and then you know the cake is going to be put together like this, have you ever wondered why the cake is filled? Like, why can't you just put the two big cakes together? Why do you think cakes have to be all the way sliced into two? Or sometimes, why, if you don't slice the cake, is there a reason why the cake has to be put together in like thicker layers? Is there a reason? Okay, if that's not something that has ever occurred to you, let me just cover that quickly for you. The idea of stacking cakes, whether they are thick or thin, is generally set in preference. Preference meaning the baker can decide what they do as their style or way of working. The other thing is detected by customer preference, especially if you're running a business, right? So how you do or put cake together, I mean, it's an art form and there's a process to it. So each individual can determine the way they go about it, which is one way of doing it. Because ultimately, people who buy cake just want to eat cake. They don't necessarily care about how you put the cake together. By the time they come to you to buy a cake, they would have come to know about you and your credibility. That is, if your name associated with your cake springs all good news, right? So the way you go about putting your cake together is set in your own practice, process, and whatever reason that is you employ to do that. The other reason may be customer preference, but the generalized reason why you may do one thing or another is also set in the structure of the cake, optimizing the cake for structure and taste. I'll tell you why. If you're stacking tall, big cakes, it doesn't matter what you do, what customer wants. It's always important to consider the structure of the cake, because making cakes essentially is like building a house, okay? And the sturdier your bricks are, how did we end up here? The sturdier your bricks are, because think about cakes as brick layers that are put together little by little to form this structure of a house. So the sturdier your bricks are, the more solid and stable your house is going to be and will not collapse or fall apart, which is exactly the reason why you have to give some thought to how you want to put your layers together. So if I was making a 3-tier cake, would I want to slice this into two? Perhaps not, because these are just 2-inch layers. Now, if I had 3-inch to 4-inch layers, I might just want to slice them into two so that I still have chunkier layers, if you like. Because if I have this cake as a 4-inch cake, which bakes deep, it means, okay, essentially you could bake cakes that are this deep. Okay, so close your eyes and think this cake as a whole, right? If I am optimizing for structure, it still makes no sense to kind of stack the cake this big. So depending on the deeper or the height of the cake at which it is baked, you might want to kind of slice into it so that it is layered into individual bricks. Remember, we are using bricks here. We are trying to relate bricks to cakes here. So in order for me to build the house, which is the cake that I'm trying to make. I want to make sure my bricks are used well, and the size of my bricks are appropriate for the building I am undertaking. So if I had deeper cakes like this, think of it as a whole thing, then I might want to slice it. But do I want to slice it into 1-inch layers? Because if you close your eyes again and think about it, 1-inch layers means my cake layers are going to be very thin. And if I'm making a 3-tiered cake, that is no good for me, because the thinner your cakes are, it means they are not going to be steady when you stack them and gravity is coming down upon them. We'll come to how buttercream affects all of this. So it is always important to think about your objective. And if you've ever been to class before, or ever stopped here when we are not chit-chatting and gossiping and doing the things we shouldn't be doing over here, and we're talking about cakes, I will always say, if you don't learn anything from this class today, take it from me that no matter what you do, no 2 cakes on your table are ever going to be the same. Unless you have a set structure, especially if you are a commercial style or bakery style baker, for custom cakes, no 2 cakes are always going to be the same, because each person's preference and needs are going to be different, which will then affect how you go about your cake decorating process. I hope that kind of makes sense. Never mind, there are all generalized principles and practices for the decorating process. Nothing is new, but each cake is always going to be different, because even if I was going to be making a single layered cake, depending on who I'm going to make it for, how I'm going to decorate the cake, it will inform the choices I take. So for that matter, you want to make sure that the layers of cake, which are now serving as bricks for building your houses, are steady. So one of the reasons why you may consider before torting, which is slicing your cake, is what type of cake are you making? Are you making a single tiered cake, a double tiered cake, 3, 4 layers? And then that will inform how you tort your cake. But then again, as I speak to you, I am only going to be making a single tiered cake, which I'm going to slice into 2 eventually for whatever I want to use it for. So for that reason, I am going to slice these 2-inch cakes. The height here is 2 inch. I'm going to slice this into 1-inch cake layers, which means they are very thin. So I'm going to be working with thin bricks, but it works because it's just a single cake over here. If I was going to be making a double tiered cake that is going to be traveling an hour away, that's not something I'm going to be doing at all, right? And I know sometimes on social media, the conversation about cultural differences about how we approach cakes is a lot, because I know European bakers, right, are always coming at English bakers for having such bread-like looking cakes. And I don't mean bread in texture. I mean, they think it's bread because it's chunky layers. And it's interesting to see how culture influences how people see cakes and how they handle cakes. But that's not a subject I want to touch. All I'm saying here is that torting cakes comes with intention. It is required as part of the process, but each cake has to be approached according to one's goals and decorating objectives. That said, I'm going to be torting this. Now, before we move on, I was going to be talking about how buttercream affects these, right, in terms of structure. So remember, the core standing reason for either torting a cake and how big you can... Let me come down to slicing. My head goes like torting is when you cut the cake. It's the same as slicing, but I know slicing can be confusing because when you cut the cake into slices. So this is my own inner dialogue coming through. Oh dear, right. So if you slice the cake into 2, right? Split the cake this into 2. You have thin layers, and then you fill it with buttercream. Depending on what type of cake it is, you want to be wary, because if these are very thin layers, and you fill it with too much buttercream in, say, a 3-tiered cake, and then gravity begins to cause the cake to kind of bulge and your layers are not steady, it will collapse. So the size of your layers will also determine the amount of buttercream. Sometimes the question about how much buttercream you can put in a cake is asked a lot. I can't give definitive answers for that because preferences change all the time. But one thing that also influences the amount of buttercream in a cake is also customer preference. Some people like a cake that is overwhelmed with buttercream, and you have to be mindful about that when you're filling a cake. And some people just want a light layer so that the layers are balanced. So let's just say look, I don't want to get this wrong. I'll find some information and put it in the description to help you. That aside, we have the cakes all sorted now, okay? It was baked yesterday, so if you, oh well, I wanted to say if you want the recipe, you want to go onto the previous live. I haven't updated the post because I finished baking and then I disappeared and my life was over. So that is it, right? We are going to kind of get this torted, and then I'm going to take you back to the basics of that, because you need to get this right to be able to get your cake right. If you get your torting wrong, you're going to get a lopsided cake. But there is also something to consider when you're also going to tort cake. So I'm going to get some tools that may help this process, make it easy for you. Bear with me. Okay. Right. The tools for torting are, depending on where you are on your journey, you may need this or you may need that, okay? One of the two is fine. Why would you need this? Because you will need to kind of cut into the cake. And there's a way to do that. If you're a complete beginner and you have no idea where to start with torting, this will be my recommended tool. Now, I already have a video on here that I discussed torting 2 ways. This is just a little more detailed to help you get better results. So this is where we are, right? You want to make sure, I think thankfully this cake has baked level, okay? But if it had a dome, I have to kind of take away the dome before I do anything, right? So I'm going to start with the beginner way first, just to show you how to get this done, right? Can you see my work surface? Let's see. I almost feel like you can't see my, let me just move the camera a little bit. Okay, is that better? I just want to make sure that you can see my work surface whilst I am at it. Right, so we have the cake here, and the beginner way of doing this is what you call a cake leveler, okay? It levels the cake and sort of slices into it. Now the leveler has a wire across it, as you can see, and there are ridges here. And the whole principle of using the leveler is finding the height of the cake, okay? Depending on how you want to slice it, adjusting each side accordingly so it's level and equal. So for instance, I think there are about 10 ridges here. Now, because I have a cake that stands, let's see, this cake bakes about 2 inches. So slicing this into 2 means I need it to be 1 inch per layer, for instance. So for that, I have to work out what the center of the cake is, as in the center. So where will the 1 inch be? It is, I think you're seeing more my head than it is the thing you're supposed to be seeing. So we have 1 inch somewhere here, right? You might want to use a knife or something to mark that. So that's about 1 inch here. So what you will do then is make sure you adjust the leveler. The problem with the leveler is, even though it works, sometimes it doesn't work very much, because if you have a cake that is so small, as in it's not that high, for instance, if this was like 1 inch point something and it had a dome and I wanted to take the dome off, it can be awfully difficult. So here's the thing, whilst I recommend a leveler for beginners for leveling, it is always appropriate to learn how to use the knife so that you can get best results from it. So seems like this has already been adjusted accordingly for me. So this is on 1 2 3 4, number 4, I think, number 4. So you set the leveler against the cake. The cake doesn't move. What you are doing is, with the sawing motion, you just keep going. Don't push the cake, don't do anything, just sawing motion. If the ridges and the wire are hooked, okay, it should saw all the way through, and what you have is a very level cake. Can you see? Right? That's all I've done. Just saw it through. Of course, even though the cake appears to have no dome, there is a rise, a little rise over here. I'm going to leave that as, but if it wasn't, if this was domed much and I was really going to be building a tiered cake, it would be important for all these tiers to be completely level. So even the little rise that is here, I would have to level it out. For a single tiered cake, I am not that fast about it. So there you have it. That is done using the leveler. I'm going to move that to the side, and then we're going to work with the knife. Now I will say over time, even though I know how to use the knife, it hasn't been my strongest point at all. It hasn't. So I am going to try, but again, it follows the same principle. It follows the same principle. So we have sure. Okay, there you go. I have sort of marked it. Now you can use, what do you call it? Let me get something. This is a turntable. You might want to get one. There you go. Right, there you go. So the marking is over here, right? So if you're using it, you can do it on a flat top, but that is not completely, that's not beginner friendly at all. That's not beginner friendly. So use a turntable. Now that the cake is marked, I'm going to get the knife in with my hands. I don't know what the word is, but you just make sure that this works, like it's in alignment, and then you hold it. The cake is moving. Let's see. The cake is kind of, you're kind of pushing the cake into the knife as you turn the table. You are not sawing, you are not doing anything. All you are doing is the knife is steady and the cake is moving. It's a lot more harder, I'll be honest. It is harder than you think. And see, it's not even perfect. And sadly, that's some of the real life scenarios about cake decorating, right? It's not perfect. So if you're a beginner, I will go for a leveler. It will be my guarantee to getting better results. But it's still a single tiered cake. So there we have it. So if you finish torting your cakes, tools done. Let me wash my hands. Thanks, Tatiana. Thank you, my lovely. Right. So it turned out good because I mean, I am my own worst critic, but I honestly won't blag it. It's not as great as it should be, because if it's not properly done, especially for a tiered cake, you will have problems. So it's always important to acknowledge little mistakes that occur during the cake decorating process, because a perfect cake doesn't just happen. A perfect cake takes time and effort and intention. And this, compared to that, look at how level this top is, and look at this. This has a ridge in here. So you just have to be careful. But there are different ways you can get this. But how great is this chocolate though? Look at this chocolate. Can you see my mouth is watering? But just get over it. Anyway, how are you, my people? Thank you, people. Thank you, Tatiana. It's great to have you today. How are you? Are you getting ready? Is it still morning? You're getting ready for work, right? I guess coming in at 3 o'clock. Coming in at 3 o'clock or a little after gives you a bit of sleep time. I can't see Tapita in the chat. Is she here? Tapita, good vibes. Welcome. Welcome, darling. How are you? Right? So, small doesn't vlog. A snail. Snail surely doesn't vlog. There we are. So, that's our cake to be... Oh, it's 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Oh, 10 a.m. is a good time to get up, isn't it? It's annoying when you have to wake up in the morning. The good thing is, I remember what it used to feel like now. This is not for... I can't stop eating the chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is so good. Okay. Look at that crumb. I am so jealous. You know what? One of the things I love about these lives is that you get to travel with me on the cake journey, if you like, because we baked this cake right here yesterday, and you can see I didn't do anything to it. I left it on the countertop wrapped in plastic bag, and that's what you're seeing. So if I tell you this is a good cake, believe me, it's a good cake. Okay, but I'll go and optimize the description, and then you can have all the details on how to make this cake. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way because we're finished torting, and the more I'm handling it, there we have. Remember yesterday when we were talking about cake and crumb coating with Kosh A, our dear friend who was here? This is how crumbs happen. Okay, crumbs don't just happen from when you what's the word? It's gone. I like doing it, and the word is gone. I can't remember it. But when you have to kind of almost like slice the crust down to the surface, that's how crumbs form. But if you're not one who sort of cuts the surface off to get rid of the crust and brown bits, this is how crumbs form from torting the cake and from handling the cake. You spy tea from the counter. Where is the tea? I can't. Oh yeah. I think we should get a tea company to sponsor us, and then they will sit at the back. We might as well. No, actually, surprisingly, I haven't had tea today. I haven't. Today, I've kept up with just water. If you see me all glowing and all happy, it's because I've done my exercising. Today, I think this morning, I've done 7,000, a little over 7,000 steps, like a very long, nice walk. And in between that, I also did a bit of skipping, about 2 to 3 minutes skip. I love to skip. If there was no other exercise to do and I could just skip with the jump rope, I could do that. So that, and a little bit of a run. I'm not a runner, so I'm not even putting on a show for you people. But you know, sometimes a girl has got to shift it. Romeo is like, so for those of you who wonder where all the cakes go, okay? The cakes break into sweat. Anyway, that's just by the way. Our cakes are torted now. Romeo is asking, do I make children's birthday? Of course, I make all sorts of cakes, Romeo. Yeah? There you go. Now, let's get the worktop cleaned out, and then we'll be moving on to the next thing, which is chocolate buttercream. Today we are serious, isn't it? Let me tell you why I am a little more serious today, because whilst we are here, you and I, there's a camera to my right, because I'm trying to get like a landscape shot of this on the DSLR so that I can edit it and then have a voiceover shot. So it's like I have to also think about the amount of material that I will have to edit out. That's why we're a little bit serious, and I'm not going off on a tangent, because the camera will be able to hold a whole hour's conversation. It will be hot and it will break down. Okay? Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you. You know what? You people just make me want to be a better person, okay? Because I know I can't come and fail out here, you know. I can't come and be failing when I'm supposed to be also encouraging you. So exercising is not my thing. When Tatiana, you said you were in the gymnastics business, I was low-key looking at you like, sis, you're trying to be up here trying to get all of us to look fit with washboard bellies and control of our physique. Girl, I just want to eat, sit on my computer, scroll away, and watch Scandal. Oh, cervical. Safeta say, brew that cup of tea, honey. I want to brew that cup of tea. But you know, when we brewed a cup of tea, the whole structured session goes left, and then it's about to get really deep. Okay, so not yet. Let's get to the next thing we have to do. By the way, Tapeta, I've seen snippets of How to Get Away with Murder, but I haven't seen it at all. And you know what? In all fairness, I am not sure if I'm going to make time. I have to, because it might just be something for us to talk about. So I will have to, and I'll have to make room for it and an effort for it. But you know what? Of all the things I love to do, sitting there and watching a movie isn't my thing, you know. Surprisingly, I'm not that person. And actually, if you bug me about watching a movie, I'll probably end up not watching. You want to ask the big producer. For him, this is how he's able to get me to watch a movie. If he has something cervical, I'll talk to you in a moment, bear with me. If the big producer wants to get me to watch a movie, because he's a movie person, he loves movies, right? He will say to me, oh, there's a lovely movie he's come across, and he's all like, he gets into his head about it. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, let's set it up, let's watch it. And then I start getting anxious. And then he's all excited because he's like, he's found somebody to join his activity. So when he's like, oh, but you said, and then I lash out and that's it. I can't watch, right? So I think he figured out, if he finds a movie and he wants me to watch, or something he wants me to watch, he'll just put it in the background. And I'm pottering around doing my washing up. And that was when we used to live in a small space. The lounge and the kitchen was open plan. So I'll be pottering around in the kitchen and the thing will be on the screen. And before you see, I'm already asking questions. And then it becomes the thing where I am sort of inadvertently introduced to it. And then we moved over here in the big space where there's the lounge and the kitchen. So he can hardly get me to watch anything because I'm in the kitchen a lot or I'm moving around. That was when the telly used to work. And then the telly kind of like lost the cord, and I'm not a telly person. So I can tell you solidly, for the last 3 years, I haven't actually turned on a television to watch. I just watch whatever I want to watch, either on my phone or on a computer. That's all. So we'll see. Cervical said, thank you. Oh, thank you. You pronounced my name correctly. It's a Middle Asian name from Uzbekistan. Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't sure if I got it right. I just looked at it and it sounded, I hope I got it right though. But yes, thank you for that. So now that we've torted the chocolate cake, let's talk all things buttercream. Now, you will hear buttercream be made fresh to be used, and then sometimes you have to kind of like make the buttercream in advance, leave it to freeze or chill, and then bring it back to room temperature. So I thought I'll bring you along my real buttercream process, which is, Tatiana, you were asking what buttercream is going to go with this cake, and I told you it's going to be my version of French buttercream. So I had the chocolate buttercream left from a cake I made, and then that was French buttercream, but it's not enough. So what I've done is I've just thrown in some like non-chocolate French buttercream, which is plain over here. And this was in the freezer, which I have brought out. So as you can see, it is kind of hard. And the thing with French buttercream is, of all the things I have to say about it not being stable and all that stuff, for what it is worth over here, this is all the struggle you will ever have with French buttercream. Because then, even at this stage, if you pop it in the microwave for, say, 5 to 10 second interval, keep an eye on it. You lose sight, it is just going to turn into a runny mess. Okay, so 5 to 10 seconds, and you have yourself buttercream good as gold to use. So let's do that and see what we have. Mind you, my microwave is on full power, so there you have it. about 10 seconds in, and there you go. So all I'm doing is just mixing this in. Now you can do this by also employing a stand mixer or a hand mixer to kind of whip these things up smoothly. It is neither here nor there. There you go. It is a little bit, it's not mixed up properly, so I'm going to employ the hand mixer here. My little producer went to a day's summer camp today. So, hello.
Us, hello.
Yes, you want to say hello to your people?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, sir. How was it? No, they are not seeing you. Don't worry. How was it? Did you like it? Was it fun? Did you like it? Shake your head if it's... You didn't like it. You liked it. Okay. Would you go back tomorrow?
No, Friday.
Okay. Have you any plans tomorrow? Well, the little producer is not in the mood, but he's all right. He had a great time. He went to a summer day camp.
I don't want to be on camera.
It's fine. It's fine. Nobody wants to see you anyway. They just want to say hello. Remember last time when you just... No. Rio, be careful. Be careful, darling.
Come on.
Right, be careful. Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Hi, big... I'm passing your regards, people. Big and little producer. Look, let's get back to work. Them two don't even care. They're so rude. There you go. That's the buttercream. It's mixed, but as you can see, it's not uniform. So what I'm going to do is just employ this. And Tatiana said the US and UK system is slightly different. Yeah. Let's just, as you can see, there's not... All I'm doing is just mixing it in here. Essentially, that's it. It's all mixed. It's uniform. That's all I need. Now, how chocolatey you want your chocolate buttercream is up to you, really. But Tara is back. Look at that. I love French buttercream. Yesterday we went off on a tangent about, I've just added a bit of vanilla to it. There you go. There you go. We are done. So cake is going to be filled. Oh, okay. Your summer is May to August. No, our summer is July to September. Lollipop, am I right? I am probably the only parent who is not usually adept with the school calendar. But yeah, our summer is July because it's also the sunny season and it kind of works, so it's proper summer, because our summer is a bit rubbish, isn't it? So September, first week of September, they go back, and yeah, but we just wanted him to get back to routine. And yep. So we have our chocolate buttercream done. We have our cake sorted. Now that's a good combination, don't you think? Now that's a good combination. Chocolate buttercream and cake. Chocolate cake. I love it. People, as I speak to you, we literally just made 9K. There's exactly 9,000 of you officially on this channel. And I'm asking, what are you doing here? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the love and support. There you go. Now, have you noticed? I just hate it when I have to waste my buttercream. I will get every little bit. Let's get rid of it. It's like, Glad, why are you bothering? No. It's buttercream. It shouldn't go to waste. There you go. This is like scarcity mindset, literally at work over here. Anyway, so our objectives. Our learning objectives was to be able to tort, level this cake, understand why we do it and all. Do you feel like you now understand why a cake is to be torted before stacking? And considering the practices I used, would you be able to tort or level a cake for best results? Hola. Let's see, let me just close this up. Hola, is it Hola Odina? Hola Odina. Let me just shorten it for Hola. I'm sure the moderators in the chat will tell you all about it, but it's normally Tuesday all the way through to Thursday and some Fridays. That's what my live days. But because of this, it used to be 1 p.m. UK time, okay? But because of the school breaks, I've had to make an adjustment. And even on a day-to-day basis, I don't know. But anytime after 3 p.m., I make a point to update the chat, but between my own life developing and life happening, because this is not pre-recorded, I have to be here. So let's just say Tuesday through to Thursday standard. If you catch me on a Friday, that's a bonus, but Tuesday all the way through to Thursday, anytime for now after 3 p.m. okay, so check back in. The 3 p.m. also works because of my US based audience, just so that they are able to catch it on time. Because for those of those of you or those of them who love us and love the community over here, they will make room and lose sleep to be here in their 5 a.m., 4 a.m. wake up times. But at 3 o'clock, it's kind of like relative that they can catch us at about 6 or sometimes 7 when they're getting ready for work. So let's say anytime after 3 p.m. That's where we are at. That said, people, you know who I haven't seen here this week? Nicola. We need to go find Nicola, see where she is and how she's keeping. But that is just by the way. Now, to all you 9,000 people, I don't know what you're doing over here, but I love you anyway, so thank you. Hello. If it's your first time here, show it by hand and let's welcome you to the village group chat. Okay, what time did we show up today? Was it 3:30? I can't even remember. Is it 3:27, 3:30? I can't. But anyway, yeah. What do we do? Well, maybe I'll go and drink my cup of tea, but so 7:30 tap it out time. Oh, Tatiana said, I've got to go to work now. Hope you all have a good day. Tatiana, you have a good day too. Enjoy your day. Have peace, productivity, and all the best things that the Lord plans for your life come to fruition today for you, lovely. Okay, take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay? It's always a nice thing to kind of feel like people stop by to kind of catch a glimpse of us and what we're doing over here before they head off to work. It's like a feel-good activity to do, you know? And yeah, all the best for your day, lovely. All right? We'll catch you tomorrow. Yeah? What a fun thing to do. Tapita, what have you got? Are you still in bed or you've got coffee and tea? Currently 8:30 at Tapita's time. Is Mum up? Is Mum up or is just you being Miss Lazy? Well, at least all look at me. I lost my screen for a minute. Yeah, for all you new people in there, because oh, Tabitha says I've got coffee. Just Hubby, Mum is not up, so just Hubby and I are up watching the tree company cut trees out of the power lines. Oh, Tabitha, you're living, aren't you? Tafita sat there with the hubby drinking coffee and watching the trees being cut. Like them 3 people showing up at 8:30 in the morning. Like, really? Why are they trying to wake you up? Why? You didn't ask to be up. Isn't it annoying? Come here. Isn't it annoying when you're trying to have a lie in and your neighbor is over there mowing the lawn? It's really annoying. Yeah. Well, in your case, it's the tree company. You can't do anything. God. People, we've torted our cake. We've done our buttercream. We'll need to put the cake together, but I'll need to kind of tidy up and get set so that it doesn't descend into chaos. So how about we go and come back. How is that? Tabitha says it's more annoying that someone has a rooster up and not. Tabitha, don't have me cancelled, okay? Tabitha, don't have me cancelled. I'm a good person. Tabitha says, people, if you don't know what Tabitha says it is more annoying that someone has a rooster up the street and and we're not allowed boy chickens in the city. Limits just lady hens. And so Tabitha is waiting that the rooster find a stew pot. And it's like the cock-a-doodle all day is doing Tabitha's headache. I mean, who thought my little rant about a neighbor mowing the lawn will bring the chickens home to roost? Tabitha. Tabitha. Tabitha, I can't with you. I can't with you and your rooster chicken. Well, hopefully, let's be kind, okay? If you make a rooster cake, I'll take so much joy in watching you cut it. Yeah, that will be you living vicariously through me cutting the rooster chicken, just because you know you can't do anything about your issues over there with your neighbor. I feel sorry for you, Tabitha. I am so sorry. Yeah, it is annoying to have those inconveniences. You can't seem to do anything about that. But if we really, no, good vibes, you haven't missed anything. All you've missed is that Tabitha is having hallucinations and daydreaming about what to do with. You know when your neighbor has a pet and you think the pet is so annoying and you start like, we're Christians over here. Oh, I blame the rooster. He made me evil. I mean, roosters had a bad rap in the Bible, isn't it? I can't believe we're having this conversation. Tabitha. Oh, okay. Carrie lives. I mean, this conversation has descended into places, isn't it? Carrie lives in a rural village, so there are cows, donkeys, but the roosters are the worst. I mean, you have got to be a fairly terrible animal to have a bad rap in the Bible. And I'm thinking pigs and rooster, okay? The pigs had the demons cast into them, and the rooster had to crow for Jesus to be betrayed. It's not looking good, is it? Okay? So, how do we plot to rid of the roosters in our lives? I mean, figuratively. No animals were hurt when having this conversation, okay? Tabitha, your rooster, your issues with the rooster is giving me giggles. Also, the neighbors are annoying me. Carrie is out here. Exactly, Carrie. You see why I'm laughing? Carrie says, okay, okay. Tabitha says, the neighbors are annoying me. It's fire season, so we have specific times you're allowed to mow because of fire danger. And my neighbors are out trying to set the neighborhood ablaze. Oh, God. Tabitha, you're not having a good one with the neighbors. But Carrie, the reason why I was laughing at your comment, which reads, but they will, the rooster makes a good pot of chicken noodle soup, is that... Tabitha had said the same thing, that she's hoping the rooster finds a pot soon so it is made into chicken soup. And you're saying the same thing, like if the neighbor, I think for Carrie, for you and Tabitha, because you are in a fairly sort of rural place, I just imagine you leave your animals to just live as they naturally would. Unlike over here, like people will keep roosters for, say, pets, and sometimes you chip them, like you chip your pets so that they can trace back to their owners. I don't know if it's specifically for chickens, if you like, but we chip over here. You chip your pets, and I'm thinking, this is why I love my Ghana, you know. I can't say what I really am thinking to say. But if it was in Ghana, this problem would have been solved long ago. The rooster would disappear and some chicken soup will be prepared somewhere, and that would be the end of it, and there would be no law to rein nobody in. End of story. That's all. Like having a whole headache of a rooster. Really? Are you serious? Like it's gone. It's literally gone into somebody else's pot of soup. So the subject of the rooster being a pet and being chipped is, you think if you nicked someone's rooster to make a chicken soup with and the police came knocking at your door, now that would be the day, wouldn't it? To say a rooster for a pet? Oh God, no. Stop it. I can almost feel your disgust about having a rooster for a pet. Oh God. She's like, oh God, no. It would just be making noise. Right. Roosters are good for making new chickens. And the stew pot. Good pot. It's a shame this rooster isn't yours, is it? Stop it. You have thought about all the things you could do with your rooster chicken. People. The funniest thing I have heard today is this subject of the rooster. But either way, Tabitha, I just hope this gets fairly resolved and you have some peace in your life. Okay, lovely. I don't know why this sounds so funny, but it isn't. Oh, I thought I had a rooster over there for a minute. Oh, I see there's an appreciation for the cock. I think on that note, let's be done today, okay? I'll be back in the hour, okay? I'll be back. It's 4:36. Let's be back at 6 o'clock to kind of fill and put this cake together, okay? There's no appreciation. I can't even read that twice. Okay? Have a good one, and lovely catching up with you. Good vibes. Good vibes. I see you. Tabitha, Carrie, Tatiana, our new friends, Lollipop. Thank you always for the help and support. I'll see you at 6.